It has been hit. It has been hit. I don't know if it's... YouTube always takes like 20 or 30 seconds. Although it was very fast this time. I already have a play thing.
It says it's live right now. Yeah, I hear you talking.
Is it? Okay. All right. Yeah, it is live. Wow. All right. Welcome, everyone, to 4GwQPodcast. This is episode number 133 for May 4th. May the 4th be with you, right, Assassin? No. All right. He's upset about what we said pre-show, but we'll try to get through this podcast without him crying.
Ryan ain't no bitch.
Anyway, welcome everyone. Thanks for coming by to watch live. We've got 5 topics this evening, afternoon, depending on where you're watching. Maybe morning if you're watching the rebroadcast, or what do you call it, the replay, or if you're like in Australia or something. Clowns has a Switch. We'll get into that really quick before we start any of the topics. We'll get his first impressions now that he finally has one. We'll talk about Prey, which I guess is already playable, which I didn't know. Officially comes out tomorrow, though. Demo is out on Xbox and PlayStation 4. If you haven't tried that, I suggest you do. The new 2DS XL, which came completely out of left field. I have no idea what Nintendo's doing, but we'll discuss that a little bit. Phil Spencer's single-player comments and his clarification on those said comments. We'll get into that, of course. Mario Kart 8 absolutely slaying video games right now. It's fastest selling Mario Kart in franchise history, so we'll get into that a little bit. And we'll end the show on some news that happened today. Black Ops 3 DLC. Somehow there's DLC for a game that's almost 2 years old, but zombie fans will be happy with the announcement that was today and what's coming very soon. First on PlayStation, unfortunately, but good for people who have it on PlayStation. I have it on an Xbox, I think. Which one do I have it digitally on, Assassin? Xbox or PlayStation 4?
I don't know.
I might have it digitally on PlayStation, actually. So, yay. All right, let's quickly introduce the cast. We have, making his 133rd straight appearance, the man who wouldn't... I'm sorry, Assassin, ZPCI Assassin, what's going on?
Hi.
We've got Merc, a.k.a. Zebra Fries, a.k.a. Taylor. What's up?
Hello.
And last but not least, we have an ultra clear this week. That beard is fresh to death, and you can see every single fiber of that beard. It is Italian Clowns. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah, so before we get into Clown's little impressions of his Nintendo Switch that he finally got shipped to him, just wanted to shout out our affiliates. So we have affiliate links down in the description below. Do your shopping through those. If you click on that, you don't have to buy what comes up. If something comes up random, don't necessarily buy that. Buy whatever you want, but use those links below if you shop at those places frequently, because we will get a referral bonus if you do that, and that will help us with doing some giveaways and some cool stuff to give back to you guys. So thank you, affiliates, for letting us have those, and thank you guys for doing your shopping through those links. I find the easiest way, I do affiliate shopping a good bit for some other sites that we don't have affiliates, like Rakuten and stuff. And I find that if you just bookmark it, it's super easy to do. So if you want to do that, good recommendation, I think. If you don't, then, just do it. I can't say otherwise. Anyway, so... yeah, Clowns. So you've got a Nintendo Switch finally. That makes 2 out of 4 on the panel. So definitely want to hear your impressions now that you actually own one. I know you checked one out while you were here at PAX, both at the show and at my place. But now that you actually have your own, please tell us what you think.
Oh my God, I gotta say I love it. I was always the person to say that it was a gimmick, even though I love Nintendo and I said I was gonna buy it anyway, even though I thought it was a gimmick. I don't know if it's gonna truly last or be able to compete, past 3 years from now. However, I love it because it's portable. When Virtual Console comes out on it, it's going to be great just to play that in the drive-thru waiting for like food or something, or pick up or anything. Just sit there and play some Donkey Kong. It's awesome. And Zelda Breath of the Wild is a really good game. I underestimated that. I thought it was going to suck. And in fact, I am in love with the game. I think it's great.
Awesome.
So everybody should go buy one.
Yeah, Zelda is just. I heard somebody describe it as the open world being too big. And I don't even know if that's really a thing. I understand transportation around the world is a little more difficult than, the likes of like GTA or before you unlock the fast travel points, that is. But, it's an amazing game. It really is. And I regret not putting, 50 hours into it like some of my other friends that I know, including my brother, who has put quite a bit of time into it. And there's just so much you can do. I mean, for $60, you can't really beat that value. So, get yourself a Switch, Assassin and Taylor. Find a way, win one.
I'm trying.
She's like,
I'm actually looking for giveaways.
She's like, I'm actively looking while at work. Yeah, no, I think that giveaways are probably less frequent than I would expect at this point, just because before Mario Kart came out, there was a shortage. Like, it was really hard to find them. But Mario Kart released, and then all of a sudden, all these stores had them. So I was telling Clowns at Best Buy they had them, and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully giveaways start to, people start to sponsor big giveaways like that, and start, you start seeing Switches like on the shelves in people's hands, because it really is a good thing. It's an awesome console. We'll talk about Mario Kart a little later in the show. But yeah, now to Assassin's. We'll open the show with Assassin's favorite game, most anticipated Bethesda title of all time, Prey, which is a spiritual sequel to a game that came out like a decade ago, that has nothing to do with this version. It's just essentially the same name. And yeah, so another Bethesda game, another game on Crytek with long loading times. You can get a demo of it right now if you're on PC PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. I don't know if you guys have tried it. I think Assassin, you have, right?
Nope.
Oh, I thought you had.
I downloaded it. I was going to stream it, but every time I look at it, it just looks terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's the combat is unsatisfying and the graphics are not great. But I mean, graphics, everything. The story seems like it's on point. The skill tree system seems like it's on point. So, I mean, that's just from an hour demo, so I can't really judge too much. But Taylor or Clowns, you guys try out the demo for this?
No, it looked terrible to me.
Taylor, I thought you would, since this is, Bethesda,
Same people who made those crappy Dishonored games.
Nope, Assassin, we made a deal. No trash talking Dishonored.
That's been broken like 16 times.
Yeah.
Only May.
Starting in May, then we will reinstate that. No trash talking Dishonored.
No.
What's in it for Clowns and I? 'Cause,
You don't get muted.
Nice.
Wow, that's
This-
terrible.
I don't care if I get muted. I can still talk about it.
This Clowns can still talk about it. Yeah.
How about we keep our audience?
Yeah, right.
Well,
We have a
the
lot
people will come by and still hear us trash talk Dishonored. Some people like it.
Listen, we have an awesome chat going already in the show. I can't thank these people enough. And these people are Dishonored lovers, all right? These people are Bethesda lovers. So, I think you might be
grab
alone.
tissues and start crying because the honeymoon phase is over and this is life.
Wow, Assassin's is brutal, huh?
Brutal
I
tonight,
mean,
Jesus.
he is saying what it is, though, and he is a true May the Fourth be with you fan, and we got to respect him. And so today is Assassin's Day, and everything he says is 100% correct.
No.
No, that's
No.
a lie. That's false.
No,
Let me go to the chat really quick about Prey, because I know a lot of people are already saying stuff in the chat. I love how one of our biggest supporters, UK Desirous, said in the YouTube chat, he just says, Prey is shit.
yes.
Yes.
And
It's like
you forgot Dishonored 2. But yes, absolutely, man. You are correct. 100%. Thumbs up, buddy.
Sobsky says, was going to download the demo, but it just looks shit. Skin Eastwood says, I hate it, LOL. So, yeah. I think people are not liking the demo, and I was kind of afraid of this because, you know, this was a really hyped up game. Obviously, you know, people were wanting a Prey 2 that were fans of the original game, and then they come out with this. It has nothing to do with the original game. And now this is out. They play it, and they were hoping for something. I think people were hoping for something better. I think there's still people excited out there, but the graphics are just not good. You know, the graphics are just meh, very, very meh.
Well, you know, there's one thing that Assassin and I have pointed out in the past about what Bethesda's been doing lately. Okay, except the Fallouts, which are really good. You know, they've always done good Fallouts, and good Elder Scrolls, and everything. But lately, it seems like they're using recycled engines or, you know, stuff from like 2012 when Dishonored first came out. And they rehashed Dishonored 2, probably off the same engine. And they probably fired half the devs and just used the same engine. And same thing probably with Prey here, you know. It's probably Dishonored engine, and that's why it's so bad. I mean, it's terrible.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
Assassin, back me up.
I don't agree. I don't agree with Dishonored being bad, but I do agree with the engine being
Fine.
bad.
You're probably a little on that honeymoon phase that keep on bringing up. It's fine. You'll get over it, and then you'll have divorce, and then
I'm sorry.
you'll find a better game that isn't shit.
I'm sorry.
But
Speaking of honeymoon phase, did your game that you've been playing recently, Force Unleashed 2, win any Game of the Year awards or any?
no, because the
awards
game isn't that great. Like,
Oh, okay then. Well,
I mean, it's good, but it's literally the first one with some improvements.
okay, now we need to go back to the YouTube chat about the spray thing because it looks like a lot of people who are in the chat have actually played it, which which just speaks to the fact that people were really anticipating it, and some people are just disappointed. Something that somebody said, let me scroll down to it. Skin Eastwood says, I seen two of my birthdays with its load times. I mean, the load times are really long. Like,
How long are they?
Like the lowest one I had was around 2 minutes.
Oh god, go play Sniper Ghost Warrior. It's at least double.
That's on Crytek too. That's on CryEngine. So it's just the engine. If Bethesda steps away from that engine, maybe they can make it a Dishonored game that Clowns and Assassin thinks is Game of the Year. As he shakes his head. Couple other things. Xbot says Prey is an interesting story and a good gameplay mechanic, graphics on everything. And I agree, graphics on anything. But I think in a demo, graphics are half the battle when getting people that aren't interested or people that are really interested. I think people who are on the fence, I think with this demo, they're gonna be, they're gonna shy away from this because of how bad it looks. Honestly, this doesn't feel next gen to me with the graphics. I don't think it's 360, but it doesn't feel like 2017 after a 4-year existence of the next gen consoles. I feel like it's. And is it going to get, PS4 Pro improvements? Who knows? Is it going to get Scorpio improvements? Who knows? The PC version didn't even get a demo because it wasn't optimized yet, according to their devs. So somebody said that either on Twitter or some other forum that I read.
I read something different for why PC didn't get demo.
Oh, why? Go ahead.
Because Steam has the built-in after 2 hours of playing the game, you can still return it for full price.
Oh, so they're using that as a demo system?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't see that. I was reading because somebody asked them directly about the PlayStation 4 problems, which we'll get into in a second. And when they kind of try to side skirt the issue by talking about PC. So maybe they were just maybe the Steam thing is the real issue and the PC version not being optimized or whatever was kind of their backdoor answer to the PlayStation 4 thing, because how would this game not be optimized for PC yet? The game comes out tomorrow. You know what I mean? It doesn't even make sense for them to respond that way. So,
well, one thing I want to say is, this is a good point I want to bring up, is that when Bethesda sent out like press kits on Prey, they sent some of these authors and writers and editors toilet paper with it, and they had like statue TP11 whatever. So I'm thinking to myself, if Bethesda sent out toilet paper with this, then they know it's probably poop.
Wow.
Just wanted to throw that in there.
Jesus.
No, but they really did send out toilet paper with the press kits.
I have
Oh
no
yeah,
idea.
they did. Yeah,
Did you just look it up, Assassin?
and a banana
Yeah,
or something. Yeah, I seen that like on Twitter. I totally forgot about that.
That's
and
pretty
bananas are known to help if you have excess too much. It could, slow it down.
Yep. No, I understand. Yeah. Stop you up, if you will. I got you.
Yeah. So somebody up at Bethesda has a great sense of humor.
Two more things from the chat, and then I think we're gonna move on from this topic since we haven't played the real game. So Supersonic Station makes a good point. He says there's a cult following that wanted, another Prey. It's kind of a bummer that this game sucks, and they kind of set themselves up for that in the beginning because it has nothing to do with the first one. So people that wanted a successor to the first one that was over a decade ago saw this news that, rumors and stuff back before E3, and then it got announced back, around E3 time, that there was going to be a Prey, and people were, excited for it. And then they saw the trailer with that red eye thing, the teaser with the red eye, and they're like, how does that fit in? And then, they clarify that it has really nothing to do with the first game, and it's kind of like, okay, you're releasing a successor to a game that people loved, a cult classic, like Supersonic Station said, and you're releasing a successor that isn't really even a successor. It just has the name. So I feel like they kind of set themselves up for failure in the get-go, right? I mean, I don't know. Last thing, where did it go? Oh, Vaultboy 101 says, looking forward to it because it looks like it has a lot of aspects BioShock has. Do you guys agree with that? Does this look BioShocky to you?
No, but I haven't seen much, so.
Yeah, I don't know if it's very BioShocky. I mean, the combat is super unsatisfying. You'll know if you play the demo. If you haven't played the demo, I suggest you go do it because the combat is very, very unsatisfying.
I mean, from what I saw, just in stream and stuff, like for the 5 minutes, I got the gist of like what the whole game probably is, like corridor, shoot things, and it's if I want to play that, I want to go to Doom because Doom's a better game.
Yeah, no, it's true. Doom's better. Dishonored 2 is better. I mean, Assassin, would you admit that Dishonored 2 looks better than Prey?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, he wants to do it.
No.
Yeah, you're a bad boy. You're a bad boy. Al said, Jizzle says last thing, Al said it reminds him of Half-Life, but that's blasphemy. You know what? I would say it's closer to Half-Life than it is to BioShock.
I would say that Big Baller Shoes has a better reference to the Overwatch logo than that.
Nice. All right. Well, the demo's out now for Prey. These guys haven't played it, so we're gonna move on. But if you guys want to let us know what you think of it after you play the real game or you play the demo, just hit us up. Let us know because this is one of the big titles that's coming out. I mean, this is definitely a AAA. I don't want to say showstopper, but this is one of the anticipated titles of the year, and looks like it may fall flat for a lot of people. So, yeah. That's Prey. Here's a topic I know everyone will have something to say, and it's kind of a happy thing. It's kind of a sad thing as well, I think. Nintendo 2DS XL was announced. It's coming on July 28th, I believe, and it's going to be $150. So it looks like essentially a 3DS XL. That doesn't do 3D. And
but correct me though, if I'm wrong, real quick. They touted that it plays all the 3DS games, so that includes the new 3DS games as well, which the 3DS XL can't play 2 of the new 3DS games. So this is like kind of like a big deal because it's so much cheaper.
Yeah, so I think you're right about that, and I think that was one of the things that I was checking out. That I was just like, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but okay, I'll go with it. Is that exactly what you just said? This plays 3DS XL, 3DS games the new 3DS games, and it plays new 2DS games and backwards compatible DS game, original DS games, of course. So yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense, clowns, but I think that's a huge advantage, especially at this price point. No.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's going to catch on like wildfire because there's nobody competing with them in the handheld market, and this is telling all the developers, "Hey, we're not giving up. We're still going to make handheld games." So maybe it'll bring more Xseed games and more Atlas over because I mean, I think even Nintendo's starting to put a little bit more grown-up stuff on the 3DS, like Corpse Party and stuff that was on the Vita. So, I mean, it's a good move for them. They're not going anywhere in the mobile market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked that they would. I'm not shocked that they would do this because they are due for a refresh to kind of like upstage the Switch because I think the Switch is getting a lot of attention and people are starting to forget about the 3DS. But I'm more shocked about the fact that it upstages the 3DS XL. Like, does it or does it not make the 3DS XL like essentially obsolete? Unless you really want the 3D, unless you really, really want the 3D, why would you spend more money for a 3DS XL when you can get this? You know?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with the 3D is though, like, it's a great gimmick because it works really well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, there's been so many rifts in the medical department where some doctors are like, oh no, if they use 3D at a certain age, it's gonna mess up their eyes. Or if people have certain medical conditions, like, for example, like bulbar muscular dystrophy, ALS, myasthenia gravis, anything like that, then they'll say, oh, well, it could affect their eyes because they strain more, fibromyalgia. So, I mean, this thing is good for, like, the whole wide area of people that have difficulties with 3D, and it's cheaper. I think it's going to do well.
Mm-hmm. Assassin or Taylor, what do you think about this thing?
Do they come out with the new DS like every year? Because it seems like they do. The question is, why invest into one when the next year there's going to be an XL?
Because then you're just never going to
Because
get
it
one.
still sells.
Yeah, and that too. I mean, these things sell like hotcakes. Dude, it's just like, why would you buy it? Well, this is a bad comparison, but you knew an SNES Classic was coming after people were like, killing their firstborn to get an NES Classic. You know what I mean? Like, I know the SNES Classic doesn't play NES games, but you knew, like, the next iteration was coming. Why buy the NES thing? You're probably just going to push that aside when the SNES Classic comes out.
Well, I mean, if it plays different games, then, I mean, that's more, reasonable, but something that comes out every year or something that is, like, a little bit bigger seems a little kind of like a fuck you to the people who bought it.
Well, like,
it's like if someone bought an Xbox One next year, Xbox One S, it's smaller. Oh, next year, Xbox One S 2, it's, a little bit smaller or whatever. And then the next year, it's Xbox One SSS, and it's a little bit smaller.
Well, this, I mean, in a way, I just want to add in real quick. This is kind of good for competition because think about it this way. PlayStation had the Vita, right? And they discontinued it because they didn't really push it so hard. Yeah. But now we got Scorpio coming out, which, is going to devastate the PS4 Pro. It's going to do really well compared to that for people that are interested in better resolution, graphics, 4K, etc. Mm-hmm. So now, like, it before PS5 comes out, what if Sony dropped the bomb and said, hey, we decided to go with Vita 2 and make it just as powerful as the 3DS or the 2DS XL, whatever. It's good for competition. Maybe that's where they'll go if they have problems with the Scorpio and the PS4 Pro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them because now Sony is like dead last in portables, right? Because now you've got the DS like ecosystem, which is way ahead in first, right? And now you've got the Switch that, the Switch is crushing the Vita already. I mean, yeah, there's probably more Vitas out there, but development for the Vita is stalled. I saw a few things at PAX actually developed for the Vita, but hardly anyone was playing it. And now Sony is like kind of falling behind in the mobile when they were have been making a big push in mobile for over 10 years. I mean, with the PSP, that was a huge risk to take on Nintendo, and I would argue Nintendo stole some things from the PSP to put into stuff like the 3DS, stole some ideas and just pushed it harder and made it, more marketable. So, so now you've got like, Assassin, you're right. They've got a million different 3D, DSs, I guess. But they're like all at different price points now. So you get like the new 3DS XL is $200, then this is like $149, then the 3DS XL is like probably like $120, and then if you can find a regular DS, you can get it for like $100, regular 3DS, and then if you get just the regular 2DS, that's like $70. So there's something for everyone, and it's pushing competitors out of the market. I agree with you on that, Clowns.
Yeah, I just think they gave up too quickly in the Vita because I still see like Atlas and Xseed developing for it, and they still make hit games on it. So
definitely, yeah, I agree. Taylor, what do you think? I know you're a Nintendo lover, and you have a 3DS XL now, right?
I do indeed.
The custom one that you got, I'll never forget.
Well, it's not custom.
Well, I mean,
it's Galaxy.
Well, it is a custom.
The beautiful
version.
Galaxy
it's
one.
Not like, okay, fair point. So what do you think now? You just bought that. Now here's one that's, certainly uglier than that, but cheaper. So what do you think?
First off, I don't really care because it was a Christmas present that I got from Cameron.
Nice. Free is free.
So I didn't pay a dime for it.
There you go.
Secondly, I like the 3DS, or I like the 3D aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fun to play with. But like Clown said earlier with the 2DS, I was reading, and part of the reason Nintendo said that they made the 2DS was because they wanted to get it for, they wanted it out there for younger children who can't use the 3D aspect,
mm-hmm.
make it a little bit cheaper for parents to afford that for them. Because especially, there's been studies, I think, with 3D and what it does to younger kids. It can affect their vision later on in life or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I didn't read a whole bunch on it. I might be wrong on that. But, yeah, so they just, they wanted to come out with another thing for it. Still, they can make money off of it, number one. 2, they can play all the games that they want to play on it. And 3, it's just a cheaper option for families for Nintendo to still get money
mm-hmm.
off them.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the sense of business, it's a smart move for Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. See, I agree with pretty much everything you've said, except what makes me so like I agree with what you're saying about younger kids that shouldn't be looking at 3D. Like 100% agree with that. I can't back up whether there's been a ton of studies, but I mean, to me, it just makes common sense that kids with developing eyes shouldn't be like forcing themselves to look at fake 3D on a small screen. So that just makes sense. But I just feel like in terms of business for Nintendo, it's just gonna poach the 3D market. Like you said, Taylor, you're a huge fan of the 3D aspect, but like how many people are like you that need the 3D? You know what I mean? Like you obviously by saying that you use the 3D like almost every time you play it, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, do you feel that? Like I don't know if you know a lot of people with the 3DS, but do you feel from like just seeing how it is in the 3DS market, like that people need the 3D, or is it just like, for a lot of people, just a gimmick?
A lot of people, I think it's just a gimmick, but a lot of people will buy the 3DS because they want to play with the 3D for a little bit at least.
Mm-hmm.
So people are always still going to buy the 3DS just because for a little bit the 3D is going to be fun. Yeah.
And the 3D is awesome on some games. Like I can't knock the 3D at all because I think it works really well. Even in the earliest variants of the 3DS, I think it worked very well. I mean, kids shouldn't be doing it, but I mean, that's beside the point. And I think on the newer variants, they've used different technology, so it's even better. It's easier to see. You don't have to hit that exact sweet spot like you used to. And some games like Star Fox 3DS, like all for it. That looks amazing. Mario Kart, awesome.
Oh, streams off YouTube.
Yeah, the YouTube stream stopped for some reason.
Oh, it's back.
Is it back? Okay. Can you see it on the same stream?
Yeah, it's like glitching out
Yeah.
though.
What the fuck? Let me play and see it.
Okay.
Can you see it on the same page, clowns, or no?
Yeah, I see it on the same page.
Jizzle says we're back.
Okay, it's good. What the hell was up with that? That was a YouTube fuck up, clearly. All right. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, but I think people are just gonna go for the cheaper option. Like somebody said in the chat, Sobsky said, I don't know about you guys, but this 2DS looks way better than the other variants. So like, do you guys think it looks, sexy enough to attract people? And do you think people are just gonna like, want to save? I mean, that's a 25% savings if you just go for the 2DS. Like, is the 3DS worth it for 25% more? I don't know. What do you guys think about how this thing looks? Does it look good or is it ugly?
Boring.
Are you serious, Assassin?
I don't know. It's just a bunch of rectangles connected to each other that just flip up and down. I don't know. It's not like wonderful. It's not terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's meh.
Tilla, does your 3DS have like the two other back buttons, the ZR and ZL?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's
It's been dead for a little bit because I lost the charger. But I think it's at Cameron's house.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, this thing looks beautiful.
Yeah, go ahead, Clint.
It's majestic, man. Like, I would buy it. And, I think, let me see, Supersonic Station. I mean, he has a point, like, for people like me and him, like, why would we buy stuff like this when we could essentially just emulate anything we want? But for me, it's the fact that I love Nintendo, and it looks majestic, and I just like holding their plastic, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff is constructed really well. Like, when I first got a 3DS XL, I was just like, wow, this thing is constructed very well. Even back to, like, the old Game Boys and stuff, they killed it. Game Boy Pocket was, like, an absolute marvel back then of engineering. And,
Dude,
right? I mean,
even if you go back to the original Game Boy, and it was heavy with all those batteries, for the time being in that era, like going on a car ride from Pennsylvania to Florida with the magnifying glass and the Game Boy light, that thing was epic.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you how many times I played Tetris and Pipe Dreams all the way down to Florida.
Yeah, dude. Ever since the beginning, dude, these things have been constructed like they put some real effort into it. Can't say the same about like every system, which sucks. But Nintendo, when it comes to handhelds, these things are like rocks, dude. These things will last forever. Like, you can go back, I can go back and power my Game Boy on no problem. Like, it's, that thing will live until I'm dead, for God's sakes. And I feel the same about this 3DS. Like, people spend $150 and, they can throw this thing down the stairs and it'll still last. Like, one of my nephews dropped his original 3DS, like, from shoulder height when he was like 7 years old. He just picked it up and started playing again. And I'm just like, oh, okay, if that were a cell phone, you'd be crying. So, but yeah, any other things about this 2DS XL? Oh, gotta get your opinion on this. The 2DS XL takes 3D videos and 3D pictures still. Why? Like, what the hell is the point of that?
The picture taking stuff probably has to do with like certain games like Yokai Watch, where, for example, I can take a picture. I can just take a picture of Assassin, right? A screenshot, and a yokai will pop behind his head somewhere, Ooh. And then it gives me like free in-game items.
Assassin, you have to. I think you have to expand your, your cultured, gaming, if you will. I think. Not just gaming. I think you have to start reading some anime, stuff like that.
Why?
Just to culture yourself, because I feel like, you're hating on Nintendo, you're hating on, these anime.
I'm not hating on Nintendo. I want a Switch. I don't have the money. And I want a DS, but, like, why would I buy one now and next year there's going to be one with a bigger screen? DSXXXXXXL or something.
Jesus, dude. It's a fair point, though. I mean, it's like cell phones, though. Every year, cell phones get better and sometimes bigger. So,
Speaking of that, Walmart's clearance down a lot of crap, guys. So if you go to your Walmart, look at the clearance section. Vita games, $10 if they still got them. A lot of Xbox 360 games, 15 or below. And Nintendo stuff, Assassin, is on sale and clearance right now, and so are cell phones.
all right, I'm gonna have to hit up my Walmart then and see what's on clearance. They had some. This is totally off topic, but they had like some awesome routers on clearance, and of course, nothing around me had them. Like people around here are just hawks. They like sit on those deal websites. They like just scour BrickSeek or whatever, where you can just like see up to date stock, and they just like freaking go get that stuff, resell it. Unbelievable. Vault Boy 101 says, I don't read anime. You are correct. I do not read anime, but I play Japanese inspired games. So I'm a little off the hook. Why don't I read anime? Is that what you're saying?
No, the games.
Why do I play Japanese inspired games? Dude, they're good. Some of them are really good, dude. You gotta get rid of that America in you sometimes.
Well, when there's one that's not shit, for instance, like that, I forget what it's called, never mind, but it was free a while back. That one was shit. But everything else, like Persona 5, shit.
Talking about Lost Odyssey?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Assassin.
I started that up. I almost passed out because it was so boring.
We're gonna stop right here because I'm gonna tell you something. So I asked Assassin about Zelda today when I was playing Breath of the Wild. I was like, "Oh, it's so great! It's awesome." He's like, "I don't know." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "I only play one Zelda game." I said, "What?" A Link to the Past. I'm like, "Oh, that's a really good one." He goes, "I play like 10 minutes to shut it off."
Wow.
I think I had on. I think my Game Boy Color. So I think when's the last time playing that? Like when I was probably 6.
All right, moving on from this. Are single player games dead?
No, absolutely not.
Assassin?
I mean, no, but they don't last.
Are you kidding? You're playing Force Unleashed 2 like every day.
Yes,
You're
but,
like loving it.
Okay, so as like a business model, you get a certain amount of money. You can't really add you can add microtransactions like Tomb Raider did, but you're not going to get money like what is it? Call of Duty, GTA, other games like that. Stupid Overwatch. Those things bring in billions compared to single player games that maybe are on one console and bring in a few million, whatever.
So let's set the stage real quick, because Assassin makes a good point that I think is the point that Phil Spencer was making that was taken extremely out of proportion by people calling for him to quit, step down as head of Microsoft, head of Xbox rather. So he did an interview recently. I'm sure everyone who listens to this podcast probably knows, but I'll just set the stage. And he made reference. The bad thing that he did that I still don't approve of is that he referenced competitors' games. And I think that's why it was taken extremely out of context, because it sounded like he was kind of like downplaying the success of competitors' games in a bad way, which I didn't really like. But I mean, I love Phil and I know what he was trying to say. And I think he said it well, but a lot of people gave him some hate. But he said the audience for big story-driven games won't say it isn't large, but it's not consistent. So that's the key word, not consistent. You have things like Zelda, Horizon Zero Dawn. They'll come out, they'll do really well, but they don't have the same impact that they used to have because the big service-based games are capturing such a large amount of the audience. And then he goes on to say, we got to understand that if we enjoy these games, the business opportunity has to be there for them. He says, I love story-based games. So everyone who said he doesn't like story-based games, like he said, I love story-based games. So you just didn't read the article. I just finished Thimbleweed Park. I thought it was a fantastic game. Inside was my game of the year last year. As an industry, I want to make sure both narrative-driven single-player games and service-based games have the opportunity to succeed. And he said, I think that's critical for us. But essentially, the point he was trying to make is what Assassin just said. Like, single player games just don't make money. They just don't make money. I mean, Zelda is an outlier. Zelda Breath of the Wild has a higher install base on Switch than there are Switches. It has an over 100% install base. So more people own that game than own a Switch on the Switch. So that's out of the norm. Making money like that is out of the norm. Horizon Zero Dawn sold insanely well at the beginning. But now it's tailing off. No one's talking about that game. So
I mean, you have a point. Yeah, single player games do not usually do as well as multiplayer games. Like we've seen with Dishonored 2. You know, it's a single player game, and it just, it didn't sell as well as, multiplayer games.
Well, I mean, that is certainly true. But, that's proof that there are good single player experience. And I think that's why a lot of people in the chat are saying single player is not dead. And why you guys said it's not dead is because there are good single player experiences like Dishonored 2 that get shat on because it doesn't sell very well, but win tons of awards because it's a good game. So, but people are out there that want to be like, oh, Dishonored 2 is down 50% from Dishonored 1. The game sucks. You know what I mean? Because of sales, where it's like...
They were right. I mean, but they were right, though. But, I mean, everybody gets a trophy these days, right? So, I mean, even if a game is terrible, they'll get awards. Like, you can go online and play HTML, text-based games that will get awards.
Wow. The Dishonored 2 hate is real in this podcast right now. We agreed we weren't going to do this.
Yeah,
but wait till Assassin gets on it. No, but I'll say, though, that, there is a point industry-wise, because we see, like, success with Overwatch, right? I mean, that captivated such a large audience, that game. And people flock to it and buy the DLC or, microtransactions, I should say. They buy them, and that's what sells. Microtransactions in these big games like this, first-person shooters, Call of Duty, Battlefield, people buy it. I mean, Assassin bought a UK voice pack, and I buy... Free. Well, he buys the whatever from the other one, the Ghost one. He bought that. So,
I mean... whatever.
Yeah.
I bought the Marine drill instructor.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It happens. I mean, it is what it is, unfortunately.
I'm sorry, Clowns. Go ahead. Finish your point.
My daughter's 14, right? And the single-player game she likes is like Outlast and Layers of Fear, and everything else is like online multiplayer, like GTA 5 Online or Black Ops 3, or she still likes Ghost, and it's just
how it is. It has the longevity. It just has the longevity. It has the playability over a long period of time, and we're going to talk about this a little later, but like Black Ops 3 is getting another DLC, and it's been over a year since that game's been out. It's been almost 2 years. So, I mean, Black Ops 3 is getting another DLC. What does that say about games as a service versus single-player based games? I mean, that's just extending the longevity. Look at Rainbow Six Vegas. Wow. Rainbow Six Siege. I mean, another example, like free DLC, but people are buying, the characters, buying the season 2 pass that gives them all the characters unlocked and all that stuff. So
I just want to say something on this topic.
Yeah.
What we could be seeing, though, is the big bust of the AAA industry, the AAA industry, because instead of making Rainbow Six Siege 2, right, which would cost more development money, more development time, they could just keep adding DLC and people will still be just as happy as if 2 came out. Same with GTA 5 Online.
That's right.
And maybe Treyarch is trying something with this Black Ops 3 DLC with the zombie maps, because it's really testing the longevity of it.
Yeah,
basically is what it's doing.
Yeah, that's an awesome point, because with a game like Black Ops, that's, by this November, that'll be 2 Call of Duties ago. And November is only 6 months away, so half a year away from it being 2 Call of Duties ago. And so why not take a risk? Like, why not test if that's going to work out to make games have more longevity? Because as we all know, Call of Duty's been, shit's been hitting the fan there. Like their sales have been down. Yeah, it was one of the top selling games, if not the top selling game of last year. But I mean, top selling in one year could be way less than top selling in another year, which it definitely was. So, yeah, I think you're right, Clowns. I think that's an awesome point. Sasson or Taylor on this? What do you think about the comments and reaction and all that kind of stuff?
All I know is I feel like single player games, I feel like they have to take a risk with their money because games like Sniper Ghost Warrior 3 are utter shit. And another game I won't mention because people get salty, I guess, on this podcast. Didn't say it by name. So, yeah, I didn't say by name, so you can't be salty.
You could always call it dish soap or something.
Yeah, I know. But like they spend all this money and they end up being shit. So like why would developers want to make a single player game? Spend hundreds of millions of dollars when they could spend that making billions.
Yep. It's true. It's true. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, in the end, it's a business. Like, we love Phil Spencer. We love, a lot of the executives at Microsoft for being so interactive with us on Twitter. But at the end of the day, they want our business, right? Like, yeah, they may want to be our friends, and they want to play with people in the community and know people that podcast and advocate for games like we do. But in the end of the day, like, Xbox is a brand that needs to make money. It's not, it's not a charity. It's not philanthropic. It's, they do have philanthropic and charitable efforts, but it's not, nonprofit. So, Taylor, what do you think about all this?
Well, because I primarily play single player games, so I kind of hate the fact that I'm sort of in the minority with that. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people gravitate towards multiplayer, especially in the Xbox community. But I'm terrible with multiplayer. There's only like 2 games I actually do multiplayer, and that's Smite and Paladins.
And they're both free to play.
Exactly.
And they both exist because they have stuff like microtransactions. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
That's crazy. That's awesome. That's so interesting. And I know you're like, you have a love affair with, not even affair, you're very open with it, with Hi-Rez. So it's no coincidence that those 2 games are Hi-Rez Studios. But even if they weren't, like, it's interesting that a primarily single player gamer would gravitate towards 2 free-to-play multiplayer games that, just exist because they have stuff like microtransactions and are able to have longevity because they're making a lot of money off of microtransactions. And it's an option for you, like for Paladins, or for Smite rather. You've bought like a Foundation Pack, haven't you, or Founders Pack rather?
The Ultimate God Pack, yeah, bought that.
Yeah, so I mean,
immediately.
So how much was that? I don't even really know.
I think it's like $30.
So there you go. Like Taylor essentially paid $30 for Smite, and I'm sure a lot of people do that. Like
I paid a lot more than $30.
She paid a lot more than $30. So did you pay over $60?
Oh yeah.
Over $60. So there you go. The point is made. Like what Phil is saying is true, and people people like Taylor that love both single player and some multiplayer with free to play. Single player is going nowhere. He never said, like, as a matter of fact, we have on this slide, like Phil Spencer replied to somebody, says we're not ditching single player games. That would be foolish for them to just like completely ditch single player games.
One thing I want to bring up that Mike Yubera said and Tim Dog said is that a lot of games, technically almost every game that comes out, doesn't have inflation. They're still $59.99 just like they were back on the original NES. So we're getting AAAs still at $59.99 with no inflation. And then yet they come out with these multiplayer only games or free-to-play games with tons of microtransactions, and they're making more than these $59.99 AAAs.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So, I mean, like, if you adjust that for inflation, I mean, you're at more than double what a game should cost now, and it doesn't. So, and their costs are going up with inflation, dev software, computers, all this stuff, like cost is going up on that side. but they're not taking in more proportionally because it's not adjusting for inflation. So this is why they need other means like multiplayer, multi-transactions, or longevity on one single game to make enough money. And that's what Spencer's saying. It had nothing to do. In the end, it wasn't a diss at Zelda, and it wasn't a diss at Horizon Zero Dawn. But I think mentioning those games specifically was a bad move because it was competitors. But that's a side point. I just think that he's saying, like, there are big games out there that have gotten a lot of good press. Horizon Zero Dawn, Zelda, 2 biggest games this year for single player, without a doubt. And even those games aren't making anywhere close to what Smite makes on an annual basis. Not even close. Probably not even like a tenth of what Smite makes, and it's free. And Smite's free to play. So what does that say? That's what people want. So something that was said in the chat a lot earlier that I kind of want to get to before we get off this topic was Sobsky said, whether it sells or not, artists need to let out their creativity, and they need to release single player games. And if they're 100% confident in what they can make in a single player story, they should just do it, no matter what the money is. But do you guys agree with that? Disagree, or do you think that's not viable? What do you guys think about that?
Well, people should, do what they want, but if it ends up being shit, and let's like say Dead Space 3, like that game from what I heard was absolute shit, and they thought if they liked it, I mean, it probably killed the series. We don't see a Dead Space 4 anytime soon, so
Mm-hmm.
so I mean, there's like that risk. I mean, you think maybe this game's really good, and it might be, but you also have to see the risk of it sucking and killing off the entire franchise, or killing your company.
Or killing your company, yeah. I mean, it's the truth. Look at a game like Mass Effect Andromeda, a good example of that. Like, are we going to see another Mass Effect after that shit?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, just because it's EA, I would say they may have the money to back that, and certainly they haven't sold nearly as many as they thought they would on that for sure. Taylor or clowns on this, whether or not artists should just go ahead and put out stuff even if they may not make money?
I think they should still do what they want to do. I mean, if they're working for a bigger studio, the studio's probably going to hold it back. But if you're an independent dev and you want to do it just because you want to do it, go ahead and do it. I mean, you worked hard, you earned it. If people like it, it'll get good reviews. I would just, to be honest with you, I'd like to see Blizzard try a single-player game and succeed with microtransactions and DLC, because I think they could pull it off. And I think if Blizzard did it, then other people will learn how to do it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. When it comes to artists like doing their thing, I just gravitate towards indie now. Like back in the day, I would think of just regular disc release, but now I just think indie whenever I hear that, because sometimes low development costs, sometimes you have to put it out at a low price to attract people that know they're only going to get a game for like 3 hours or 4 hours, with little replay value, so I don't know. Taylor, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I think they should still put out their own stuff, especially if they're doing it as an indie. Working for big developers, they're going to hold it back if they don't think it'll do well. But like Bernie from Rooster Teeth said, they started Red vs. Blue, which is now the longest running web series, because he thought it was a funny, stupid little thing. And he thought, if I enjoy it, someone else is going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's the best web series in history.
Mm-hmm.
It's the longest running. They have an entire company made from that stupid little show.
And if someone can do that, like, do it. I think there's still space for stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good point. I think there's space for stuff like that, but when it comes to like an artist putting out a very niche thing, that they're very proud of, and I think people should be proud of what they make. I mean, gaming is not game developing is not an easy thing. I think people should be proud. But sometimes costs creep up on people, and if the sales forecast doesn't call for them making good money out of it, then it's tough for these people now. It's tough. Unless they have something like what you said, like Red versus Blue, they can make like a cult classic out of it or something. But all right, anything more about this before we move on? I think we kind of like beat it to death a little bit. Let me see in the chat. Yeah, nothing else really in the chat other than people call me the Boston Hammer. God damn it.
Did you see what Stick Figure said? 4 Guys with Hammers Minecraft Edition.
I like that. That actually has a good ring to it. Somebody said
we could do a web series with that.
We could. We could be the next Red versus Blue.
Yeah.
Changed by I guess to 3 guys, a hammer with quarters. 3GwQPodcast. Fastback. I don't think that has the ring to it. That doesn't slip off the tongue easily enough. But no bad. I like what he just said. Quarters hammered by 4 guys.
So what we do, like a YouTube joke, is the hammer be like, this hammer at its force and density crushed this quarter. This one could not crush the quarter.
That would seem really boring.
We should do what we talked about with the new intro where the things just come in. Remember the CBCI assassin with the like stick figure. You know what I'm talking about? With the Boston Hammer, it'll be like, and the Boston Hammer, Inferno 217, and then it comes in with a hammer, it's just like chung 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 across the screen.
That would be kind of funny. That's not a bad idea.
And then with like zebra fries, and like a zebra comes on the screen, it's just like, whatever the zebra makes, I don't even know.
And then a killer clown comes up from Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yep.
Pop it across the screen.
Yep. All right. Assassin, we're leaving the Call of Duty stuff to last. I'm sorry, bud. We have to get to Mario Kart first because Mario Kart is just blowing people's minds, even though it is a friggin' remake. So you guys will like this image if you're watching the podcast. Reggie Fils-Aimé holding his Nintendo Switch with money signs all over it because that's essentially what Nintendo's getting from releasing this game. 459,000 plus copies on the first day. Over 1 million copies in 3 days for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the now fastest selling Mario Kart game in franchise history. It once was Mario Kart Wii. Interestingly enough, that was like 434,000 copies on launch day back in 2008. But now it is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So what do you guys think? You guys impressed?
Mario Kart's the shit. I'm sorry, but it's great.
Oh, I thought you didn't like Nintendo products. I thought you weren't a fan.
I like the Mario games. Like, those are the shit.
Okay.
So
Mario.
All I can say is I would kick everyone's ass here.
First of all, that is absolutely incorrect.
That is
absolutely
100% facts.
No.
Well, we just all need to have a Switch so we could play one time. And
now we all need to go to PAX so we can all play Mario Kart.
Mario Kart and Mario Party. I'll take all you guys.
Dude,
I'm not good at Mario Party.
You're definitely not going to win a Mario Party. I can guarantee you that. If there are any of those mini games where you have to hit the button like super quick, my trigger finger is lit, dude. Lit. So Jizzle can back me up on this in the chat. My trigger finger, I can hit that button like 360 times a minute or some shit like that. I tested
on the Switch,
on whatever, dude. Whatever it is, dude. Mario Kart is my Mario Party is my shit. So, Assassin, you're going down on Mario Party. Mario Kart, I don't. It's tough to evaluate you on Mario Kart because I haven't really seen you play any Mario Kart games. So you could be a dark horse, but I'm still betting on myself. And I'm even betting on Taylor on this over you, so I think... Anyway.
I would destroy everyone.
Lies. Taylor or Clowns, you guys impressed with the progress? Or have you guys watched any videos? I know, Clowns, you own it.
Yeah, I mean... Okay, I can see why it sold so well because it's on the Switch. and the Switch is way better than the Wii U. It's like a billion times better. So everybody, when you get it, there's not a whole bunch of launch games. Mario Kart's a great game. I mean, ever since the Super NES days, it was awesome. So yeah, I mean, I could see it doing well on the Switch. It doesn't really surprise me. The only thing that surprised me is that it feels like a direct port of the Wii U version with stuff unlocked.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that is essentially what it is. And, kudos to Nintendo for kind of like saying that's what it is and still selling this many copies. It's like, you loved it a couple years ago. Here it is again, all the DLC unlocked. It's essentially like the remastered version. And it really isn't like true remastered. Like, yeah, it runs buttery smooth. It looks great on the Switch. I'm not convinced it looks a lot better than the Wii U version. I will give you that, clowns. I kind of agree on that.
Well, I mean, not for nothing or go completely off topic, but in a few underground forums, they feel essentially they could mod the Wii U version, unlock everything, and make it the same.
So there you go. You can get essentially the same thing on the Wii U. But it's not as cool because it's not on the Switch, guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true. I mean, who wants to carry a damn portable tablet everywhere?
That's right.
And you go past like 4 feet, the thing's dead.
God, they missed so bad on that tablet for the Wii U. God, if it were like this, man,
Yep.
would have killed it.
Yeah, it would have.
Taylor, what do you think? You impressed on this news?
I mean, it's Mario Kart. You put Mario or Zelda in the title, and it's gonna sell.
You take Mario, you put him on a fucking cart, that thing's gonna make money. Simple as that. Simple as that. I agree with you, Taylor. Yeah, I mean, like, even like Mario in like the Olympics or whatever that shit was sold. Like,
No, I had that. The Mario and Sonic Olympics. I have that on the Wii.
even that shit sold. Like, even people bought that. So when you're selling stuff like that, like, I'm pretty sure you're golden. There's been some pretty weird Mario games that have sold like crazy. Like Dr. Mario, like that sold like hotcakes. Like Mario typing, like Mario learns to type or whatever it was. Like that thing sold like crazy. What's the name of that? Mario typing. Mario teaches typing, dude. Mario teaches typing. March 8th, 1991. I remember when that game came out. Everybody was learning to type from fucking Mario. Unbelievable. Jizzle says in the YouTube chat, I'd buy Mario porn. Well, I'm pretty sure that does exist if you're a sicko and you want to go look that up. Sobsky says, what'd you say, Taylor?
It's Rule 34. You don't know what that is?
No, I have no idea what that is. Please inform me.
How do you not
I'd
know
rather
what
not.
that
You want to look that up on your own time.
Wait, what is it called?
Rule 34.
They're like porn for like everything or something. If
Oh
it
my
exists, there's porn for
goodness.
it.
Like every childhood type thing. That's Rule 34.
Oh, you're right. I'm gonna have to look.
You know
that
what?
up.
You know what's ironic is that me and Inferno never heard of this, right? And the other two people has. So.
Yeah, Assassin's like, how have you not heard of this? You know what I mean? Like,
I'm really surprised you guys haven't heard of it. I've never looked it up, but I've seen references to it.
no, I've not heard of that, but I may, for research purposes, may check that out.
I think PewDiePie made a video on it.
Did he
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
I think he's made
He
a
was
couple.
trying to find something that wasn't in Rule 34 or whatever to make a porn version of that if it didn't exist.
I don't
funny.
think he was able to find anything.
Jizzle says, now, we said that, there probably exists some Mario porn, but he says, it's not official, though. What do you want, the Nintendo seal of approval on a porno DVD? Like, I mean, is that what you want? Like, Nintendo licensed Mario, like that Mario cartoon from back in the day, just porn and having the seal of approval on it? That's ridiculous. He says, yes, that is what he wants. Jesus, man.
Well, I mean, it'll never be official, of course, but he can always go to a Japanese rave club. I'm sure they cosplay and do some shady stuff
Right,
down there.
definitely. 100%.
He could dress up as Luigi or something, go in.
That's great. Actually, when we were kids, he was Mario and I was Luigi for Halloween.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yep.
Sorry, Jizzle. So you could still be Mario then.
Nice.
Just bring all the mushrooms with you.
Oh my god.
Wow. I think it was Sobsky in the chat. If it wasn't you, please tell me who it was because I can't find it now. But somebody said they want an M-rated or mature Mario game, and we were kind of like talking about this a little bit with the 2DS talk earlier, with Nintendo kind of dabbling into more mature stuff. So, clowns, I want to go to you on this, bud. You think this is gonna be the first time we're gonna see it on this system?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, right now during launch, they're probably going to keep it family friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe in 2 years from now, we might start seeing some Xseed or Atlas stuff on here. I mean, I'm sure Atlas is probably going to come out sooner, but they're not as hardcore as Xseed is with Corpse Party. And Corpse Party made it on 3DS. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. Will we see it with first-party characters? No, never. But third-party games, yeah, we'll see it.
The closest thing they've gotten is like Super Smash Brothers, right? Essentially, I can't think of something that's more mature than that.
Yeah, for first party, I think that probably takes it.
Yeah. But then again, like Odyssey kind of presented itself during that trailer, like Mario in the real world. You know, that's kind of more mature than usual. Wow, the YouTube chat is going to a crazy place that I'm not going to shut out in audio form. Wow.
Wow.
Let's just say Taylor said in the chat just now, y'all need Jesus. Like, that's how bad it is. Wow. I'm just going to block that out for now and kind of like move on. Jesus. All right. Anyway, Mario Kart is awesome. Go get it. I highly recommend it. And Assassin, when you do get a Switch, it's on like Donkey Kong.
And I'll destroy everyone.
Absolutely not.
Yep.
All right, last topic of the evening, something that came out today, news that came today. Black Ops 3 getting some DLC. We kind of made references to it a couple times in the show so far. I'm not even going to look at the YouTube chat right now. So yeah, this is called DLC 5. It's officially called Zombie Chronicles. And so Jason Blundell, who is the co-studio head at Treyarch, kind of announced this on some guy named JC Backfire's YouTube channel. So I don't know who JC Backfire is. Assassin, please enlighten me who that is.
I don't know who it is. I think he probably does zombie stuff. So it was probably the perfect way to do it.
Gotcha. So kind of an unusual way to announce this kind of thing, especially for, such a big franchise like Call of Duty. Granted, it is like an almost 2-year-old game, but on some other guy's YouTube channel, JC Backfire, he announced that we're getting some DLC, 8 new maps, right, Assassin? I think you can tell it better than I. So
maps.
Please take it away and tell us what we're getting with this thing.
Oh, we're getting 8 remaster maps. Price we don't know. Coming out May 16th. It includes all the rest of the World at War maps. Ascension, Kino, Shangri-La and Moon from Black Ops 1, and Origins from Black Ops 2, all in one package.
So, okay, so we're going to find out more information about this on May 8th. They're going to be doing a live stream, 11 a.m. Pacific time. They're going to be doing a live stream on, Treyarch's and Call of Duty's. Actually, it's just Treyarch's YouTube, Facebook Live. Okay,
Inferno, do you have Black Ops 3 on PS4?
I don't know which one I have it digitally on. I have it digitally on one of the systems. I can't remember which one, though. It may be PS4.
We should do a 4Guys reveal when they release it.
I agree. It's too bad Assassin got rid of his PS4.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so the live stream, May 8th, 11 a.m. Pacific. So check out Treyarch's channels there. You'll be able to see more about this thing. But the thing, like Assassin said, first available on the 16th of May for PS4, and I'm assuming a month later for Xbox One. So what do you guys think? Is this a big deal? Like, does this baffle anyone? Like, what are people's thoughts on this?
I mean, it's nice. I mean, Xbox and PC players already have the maps. So, It's kind of a little annoying that we probably have to pay for them because I doubt it's part of the season pass.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a kick in the nuts, but we'll see. Since they're going to shove gobblegum down our throats, which is their microtransactions.
That's what's keeping the game alive, bro. That's what's...
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely keeping the game alive, but I mean, we're also paying for these DLCs, which is like
secretly. Oh! I see what you mean. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I see what you mean. So
you
think it's gonna be an extra cost, not in the season pass?
Yeah, it's because in the season pass it says 4 DLC packs in 2016. It's 2017, and this is the 5th pack.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, something tells me that this was not planned at all. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think they said he was like halfway done. I think it was probably planned a little bit, probably halfway through the life cycle of Black Ops 3, because they said they were like half done when COD XP was here.
Interesting. It's unlike well, maybe I'm wrong. Assassin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's unlike Call of Duty to have a season pass that doesn't include all the DLC.
Well, this is the first time we had a 5th DLC, but it's not. I know Advanced Warfare put out weapon DLCs and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Or supply drops, so
Gotcha.
it's not the first time that they updated their game. And they've been updating their game since Infinite Warfare came out anyways.
Right. Well, yeah, because Merc305, our buddy over there in the YouTube chat, says Steam player base is 3 times larger than Infinite Warfare, so people are still playing Black Ops 3. I personally enjoy Black Ops 3 a lot more than Infinite Warfare.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it makes sense to support it, but I feel like... I don't know. I feel like it would be supported on the multiplayer side, not like... I know Zombies is multiplayer, but I mean like competitive multiplayer.
Well, I mean, there's a huge community of zombie players. I mean, there's probably a bunch of people with using the mod tools on PC. And, I mean, it even helps them because they get the assets from the older titles into the mod tools.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Taylor or Clowns, what do you guys think about this? Have any thoughts? No.
Taylor, nothing?
Call of Duty. It's Call of Duty. I don't care.
Taylor's like, if it's a shooter, fuck it.
Pretty much, unless it's Halo. It's my feelings.
Clowns, what do you got, bud?
I think it's great to see them carry this on and keeping it alive, because Black Ops 3 was great compared to like all the other crap that they've been producing lately. Yeah. And Treyarch is one of my favorite studios for Call of Duty when it comes to zombies. I mean, they nailed the zombie genre down really well. So for them to continue zombies on an older game, to me, is epic, because if Origins was still going strong and they still made more Origins DLC kind of stuff, I would still buy it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's great. It's a win for everybody. It's a win for the studio because they don't have to make a whole new one right now.
And then they get a bunch of money from microtransactions.
Yep.
Normally there.
Yep.
And all zombie fans are happy.
Yeah, and like you just said, Clowns, like the people that still the huge community of zombie people, you know, will probably buy this. I mean, if this is $15, you know, everybody
steal.
Yeah, I mean, if it's $15, like you said, like people are gonna see 8 zombie maps for $15. They're gonna be like, "This is a friggin' steal," and a lot of people are gonna buy this. Go back to the game, you know. Consider, you know, if they sold it, they may consider rebuying it. You know what I mean? If they traded it in for like a newer Call of Duty or, you know, some other game, Battlefield 1, for instance, or what have you. You know, they may rebuy it, so that's more money for them, unless they buy it at GameStop, of course, used. But yeah, I think it's a good move. I think it's a big move. I think, and like you said earlier, Clowns, like it's a test. I think it's a test to see if games like Call of Duty can follow the model of Rainbow Six and stay relevant. with more content being added beyond that year that people consider Call of Duty relevant for. So
Well, they probably stay more relevant if they got rid of the season pass.
well, yeah, well maybe this is like a test. Maybe they will get rid of the season pass if they think people will play these games for like 3 years consistently. I know like people still play Modern Warfare 2. I know people still play the old Call of Duties, so I know they still have some sort of longevity, but people aren't buying those games. They want longevity where people buy stuff, which makes sense. I mean, from business, it makes sense. But I don't know. Merck says, I don't mind DLC if it means we can still buy games at $59.99. The alternative is paying more for games. So we kind of talked about that a little earlier in the show. But $60 plus DLC money for a lot of people is looking like a bad proposition, right? I mean, a lot of people don't want to do that anymore.
The DLC does, especially for multiplayer. It splits up everyone. I mean, look at Modern Warfare Remastered. Probably like if half those people, let's just say 2,000 people have Modern Warfare Remastered, bought the DLC that just came out. Half those people can't play with the other half because they have the DLC installed.
Yep. So,
and they're probably making billions out those supply drops.
They probably are. And if them making a lot of money on those supply drops extends longevity of the game and makes people interested for like more than a year, I would say totally fine with it. But I don't think so far it's had that effect. I could be wrong, but who knows? Anyway, that's coming in a couple weeks. If you're on PS4, a month or so. If you're on Xbox One, so look out for that if you're into Black Ops 3. And other than that, I think we're done. I can't think of... Clowns, you sent me something really late that you kind of wanted to mention really quick, right?
Well, Xbox thinks it's a pretty big deal that The Long Dark is going into 1.0.
So yeah, go ahead, Clowns, go ahead.
So Xbox is pretty excited about it because it was one of the first games in game preview program, and it actually had a great reception and a great Kickstarter. I think that's it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say, Clowns. That it essentially was I don't think it was the first actual game preview game, but correct me if I'm wrong, but it was the first notable one. As they call it, the pioneer of game preview. That's their words on Xbox Wire. Pioneers of game preview. Long Dark launching 1.0 in August. So that's finally coming out of game preview. So yeah, get excited for that. Long Dark, I don't really like it, but Clowns likes it. I know a few people that are like die hard into it, which I can't understand. But I mean, you like what you like, and if you do like this, then you're really excited for this news. I know a lot of people would rather have like, what do you call it? I'm drawing a blank now. From Compulsion.
We Happy Few. Thank you.
Wow, I totally drew a blank right there. I know a lot of people are like looking for that to come out of game preview at this point. But the Long Dark. Yeah, big news. I think it's big news. Something going on in the YouTube chat really quick. What is the news about Fable that I missed? What are they saying?
Well, Rand and Crap Gamer have posted videos about Microsoft and a studio teaming up with the hired X-Line head devs. So there's a conspiracy theory that they might be making a Fable 4. I don't know how true that is.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to look up the rumor now. But if it happens, I am going to be ecstatic.
Yeah, if that's actually a thing, I'm going to be... Number one, I'll be blown away. And number two, we're getting Lauren Carter, the Albion girl, on the show immediately to talk about that news.
Well, one time I did talk to Phil, personally. I did talk to Phil, and I asked him, what after the whole Lionhead thing. I said, hey, what's going on with Fable? And, he couldn't really say too much because he couldn't talk about what was happening at the time. But he did say that he loves Fable and that he hoped to see Fable 4 see the light of day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's been on the back burner. Probably a lot of stuff they can't discuss, and maybe Phil is reliving another one of his childhood dreams with Fable 4, just like he did with Voodoo Vince.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like with the Lionhead closure, it was kind of like out of their hands. They didn't want to like squash the Fable franchise. They just had to do what they had to do for business reasons. I mean, I know there are people out there that know the real reasons, like behind closed doors kind of reasons, but I haven't heard any of them, so I can't speculate. But yeah, I think we need to get Albion Girl back on the show when that news officially breaks. But as of right now, just rumors, I guess. And Phil Spencer wants it, according to Clowns. Which, I mean, he loves Fable, so I'm not too surprised. But
according to a Spanish translation from Generation Xbox, they looked at the job posting between Microsoft and this third-party studio that hired the X-Line devs, and some of the stuff that was said was that it's a known franchise. They wanted a free multiplayer RPG.
mm-hmm.
And they want to design a level up system, raising levels, and a complex system based on rewards.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be for PC and console. So, I mean, it's very generic because, I mean, you could also say, like, Crackdown's a known franchise, and so State of Decay, you know, what if they try to do something like that? But it just feels like a fable to most of the internet.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't be surprised at all. Not at all. I just want like something more definite, I feel, before I get super hyped about it, you know? But like Daz just said in the chat, if they follow Fable 3 with something similar to that, then I would be 100% for it. But yeah. Other than that, yeah, I think we're done. I know I saw a couple people come in to the chat right now, but we are done with the podcast, so please check out the replay. But yeah, check out all the things 4GwQPodcast. You can look us up. Just Google us to find where we're at. I know we're on like a million things now, but I'll just shout out a quick few. You know, Twitter is 4GwQPodcast, so definitely follow us there for, you know, all of our information about when we're gonna go live and when we're doing other live streams. I know Assassin's been posting a lot about doing some live streams with Outlast and Star Wars Force Unleashed 2 and stuff like that. So check out that kind of stuff, because Assassin is actually a very good streamer. I like watching Assassin stream because he's very sarcastic, and when it comes to Outlast, I love watching Assassin stream Outlast because like everyone like expects like this scared little like baby to piss his pants, and I'm just like watching this guy just be like, oh no, like that's not good, or something like that, you know what I mean? So if you haven't seen him stream Outlast, you definitely should. There are actually a few Outlast 2 streams on YouTube that you've done, right, Assassin, that you've backed up?
Yeah, 2 of them.
So yeah, go check those out. Obviously, you know where our YouTube is. Just 4GwQPodcast. Definitely subscribe if you like the show or if you like our other content. That'd be amazing. Clowns, why are you laughing?
Because I was just thinking about his Sniper Ghost Warrior stream. You know, he was very sarcastic but direct on his Sniper Ghost Warrior 3.
There's like, some things I shall not mention about that game that I put in
like,
DMs.
Come on, man. Yeah. I was shooting you.
Yeah. It's good. You got to watch this kid stream because it's good humor. It's very unexpected. It's like it's unlike any other streamer you've seen. I can guarantee you that. But yeah, and he'll be honest too. Like he'll share on a game if it sucks. So.
Which Sniper Ghost Warrior 3 sucks.
Exactly. Yeah, we usually stream gameplay on Twitch, so follow us on there. 4GwQPodcast is our handle on there. You can follow us all individually at like our individual Twitter, Xbox, and Taylor streams from time to time at her Twitch channel. So you should go check.
Speaking of that,
yeah,
you guys should tweet me what I should stream because I don't know what to stream.
Yes, tweet at Taylor and let her know because
Sniper Ghost Warrior 3.
she's done streaming
Are
Smite.
you gonna buy it for me?
Don't. It's a waste of $60. It's
That's
the
why I'm not
reason
gonna buy it.
why
That's all me. Let's buy it
people
for
hate
me.
America.
That's smart.
Nice. Yeah, so tweet at her what you want to see her stream. Tweet at us what you want to see us stream too. I mean, we could probably make it happen. Yeah, how's that Facebook coming, Assassin? You been checking out the 4GwQPodcast Facebook or?
I tried it out a few times and then I forget and then I go back and then I forget.
Oh, good.
It's kind of a,
Kind of a never-ending circle of forgetting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just add me as an admin on there. I'll at least check it more often than he does.
Yeah, dude.
Probably.
We need everybody to just be on that as a group effort, I guess. So yeah, go like us on the 4GwQPodcast on Facebook and we're on Beam as well. Just search 4GwQPodcast on Google. You'll find us on everywhere. Just go to any like gaming site and just search 4GwQPodcast. We're on OpenCritic now, so you can find our reviews that we've been posting lately on OpenCritic as well. So yeah. And obviously 4GwQPodcast.com. I don't know if I already said that, but if I didn't, check out the website. Awesome reviews, awesome news articles, awesome replays of the show and stuff like that. So other than that, we'll see you next week. May the 4th be with you, right, Assassin?
Yeah.
All right, see you guys later.